Is March 22nd, 2011. We're going to be doing lesson 5.2, but we're going to start by taking out question 9 from the homework. 9A asks you to expand and simplify. It's a question, talks about flight path. H represents height. D is distance of, what is it, a plane? Firework. The firework. Okay. Very first thing is they're just asking us to expand and simplify. Okay? So we're going to do that first. I'm going to deal with I'm going to FOIL my two brackets first. Then I'll deal with the -2 after. So, I'm going to do this all in black here. My first numbers are D and D, so I'm going to left with D squared. My outside numbers are D and -15, -15D. My inside numbers are -3 and D. I really should be underlining. So that was D and D to start. D and -15, -3 and D. And finally, my last numbers are -3 and 15. That's going to be positive 45. So at the end, if you guys notice with FOIL, this is a quick way to do it where I just underline. You should have 2 underlines under every number. Okay? Every number should have been used twice. You guys noticed? So D times D is D squared. -15 times D is -15D, -3 times D is -3D, and -15 times -3 is positive 45. I'm then going to simplify inside the brackets. -15 minus 3D, -18D, plus 45. And finally, I have to distribute my -2 to every number in the brackets. -2D squared plus 36D minus 90. That's my expanded form for question 9A. Hopefully you got that. Oh my gosh, where is it? Here it is. 9B says to verify that our new relation, so this new equation that we have, is equivalent to our original equation, which is this one here. Now, a little later in this chapter, you're going to learn how to factor. Factoring would be a way to prove it. It's also a way to check it that you expand and simplify. I haven't shown you factoring yet. So a way to verify is in the question, it says that where D is the horizontal distance in meters, oops, sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. Use both relations to determine the height of the firework if D represents 10. What they want you to do is they want you to use or plug in the value of 10 for D. Okay? So in our first equation, you're going to replace both D's with the value of 10. And in our new equation, you're going to replace both D's with the value of 10. In the end, you should end up with the exact same answer. So that's how you're going to verify this. So we'll quickly do that. Is H at D, -2, D, and our other equation is H at D so we're going to call this equation number 1, and this is my equation number 2. Yes, Simeon. If we look, I'm going to put the value of D in for here, value of 10. I'm going to put 10 in for those two D's. So we'll do the left equation number 1 first. -2, 10 subtract 3, I replace the D. And 10 subtract 15, I replace the D there. According to BEDMAS, I deal with the brackets first. 7, -5. Okay? Now I just have 3 numbers to multiply. So I'm going to do this quickly in my head. -2 times -5 is 10. 7 times 10 is 70. Okay? So apparently, at a distance of 10 meters, the height is 70 meters. Oh, that's pretty good. All right. Exact same thing over here in this equation. -2. I put 10 in for D. Now, make sure, guys, that when you replace a variable that has an exponent, that you, in our case, we have the power of 2, I need you to put it to the power of 2 first. Don't multiply first. According to BEDMAS, we always do exponents first. So when you go to equate that, we're going to have to do 10 squared first. 36 by 10. That's my other D. Subtract 90. Okay? This is going to become negative 2 times 100. 10 squared is 100. 360 minus 90. Negative 200. Let's equate that one. That's going to be 270. 270. And then the difference here is 70. So, I verify that these two equations are the exact same. They're just different styles. Just like when we do with linear equations, we had point-slope form, y-intercept form, standard form. This was just two different styles of looking at the equation. When I plugged 10 in for D, I ended up at the same answer for both of them. I want to record that. Sorry, it wasn't supposed to be H at D, it was just H. My phone wants that. Oh, from Korea? I would like to see that, actually. Okay, so that's everything there. You can take a look at it.